What's happening, boys, and welcome to the 300,000 subscriber Draw My Life, not a Q&A. 300,000 subscriber Draw My Life video, which is past due. I was meant to release this like a month and 2 weeks ago, but things got in the way, and honestly, this was a really tough video to make because I had to figure out what would be interesting for me to tell you guys. I'm not even sure that I've achieved that, but I wanted to do my Draw My Life because I've done Q&As for every other milestone, and figured a Draw My Life would be fun for this particular event. But we are now on 373,000 subscribers, so we're a little late. Yeah, so sorry. Wait, these smell really good. Wait, these smell... But in all seriousness, guys, you have allowed me to essentially live my dream. Like, I get to tell people that I play video games for a living, and I know it goes a little bit beyond that, but not that far beyond that, because that's pretty much what I do, and... it's honestly the best job I could ever ask for. It's the job I wanted when I was 5, and it's the job that I have now. Like I said, guys, I have no one else but you guys. I mean, I upload the videos, so, you gotta give me a little bit of, gotta give me some props, but you guys are the ones that allow me to be able to do this. So to all 373,000 of you guys, thank you from the bottom of my freaking heart. I can't say it enough. And I wish I was able, this is one of the only videos I'm ever have on my channel where it's not actually face cam, but that's the nature of a Draw My Life. I looked up a bunch of Draw My Lives on YouTube, and no one is in the freaking face cam or whatever, but that's beyond the point. Let's get into Draw My Life. Let's get this thing cracking. Los geht's. So 2 things really quickly. 1, I can't draw, and 2, I wrestled with myself to figure out what it is I could tell you guys that would actually be interesting, and I'm just gonna go with it. We're just gonna start where all people start, where all human beings start, and that's in the womb. So every now and again, my mom reminds me that I almost died in the womb. The umbilical cord, which is what gives you your food when you're in mom's womb, wrapped around my head and cut off oxygen to my brain, which... we don't know what the long-term effects of that were. Maybe that's why I suck at Guess Who now. I was born in the land of watches, chocolate, and cheese, aka Switzerland, in a city called Zurich. Long story short, my parents were working there, and they had me there. I don't know if I was planned. I don't think it's a bad thing if you're not planned. I just think it's a little bit of a bad thing that I don't know if I was planned or not. My parents gave each other a high five, and naturally, shortly after that, I arrived. Spent 3 or 4 months there, don't remember a whole lot of it because I was only 3 or 4 months old. So basically I can't draw and I can't write. I don't know what I can do. The only thing I can do is type. I type like 300 words a minute. It's crazy. Yeah, that hand, I don't even know. I'm looking back now and I don't know what that line was meant to be. So at about 3 months old, my parents were like, you know what? We've had enough cheese, we've had enough chocolate, and we've got our watches. Let's go to Germany. That's where my dad's from. So we moved to Munich, aka München, and set up shop there. Now, I don't remember a whole lot from the Germany days. I lived there for about 6 years, and I think around age 4 or 5 is when I started having memories, I think. But yeah, this is 3D, by the way. If you guys have 3D goggles, the green and the red, I did that specifically so that it would look 3D. But anyway, I digress. There's 2 memories, or a few memories that stick with me from Germany. It was always kind of cold and rainy. The teachers were really strict. The food was amazing. The candy was even better than the food. And yeah, one event in particular, during the summer, a huge fucking bee. I'm talking like a bumblebee from Jurassic Park. Indominus bee came after me that summer and stung me on my crotch. Was one of the most painful things ever. Wasn't really life-threatening. I don't really know why I bring it up. It's just one of those things that was most vivid in my memory. So that's not really a bee. That's more like a mosquito-bee hybrid. Let's see if we can... yeah, good stuff, dude. Okay, that looks a little bit more like a bee-frog sort of thing. That might be actually the best animal I've ever drawn. Long story short, traumatic event, not that big a deal. Now, people always ask me, Zway, do you have a favorite club? Do you have a favorite professional club? And I always say no, because my answer is always I just want a good football match. But truth be told, the German national team is really my club. It's who I've grown up supporting. And that second memory is the 1990 World Cup. I could barely remember it. I just remember everyone downstairs freaking out, my parents freaking out, because Germany, West Germany at the time, had beat Argentina, and it was just absolute madness. And since that day, I've supported them. So not only was that one of my first memories ever, but it happened to be football related, and I think that's sort of what sparked my love for the game. A few years after I was born, my parents had another kid, and that would make him my brother, naturally. But yeah, my little brother, 3 years younger than me, and yeah, throughout the years, he's kind of gotten a little bit taller. You know, the doctors always said, oh, he's gonna be taller than you, and I never fucking believed that shit. Turns out, he ends up being goddamn 6'7". I'm 6'2", which is pretty tall, but he's like fucking 4 inches taller than me. Why does that happen? So fucking unfair, dude. But anyway, when I was 7 years old, and I don't know if I mentioned this, but my dad was a fashion photographer, so he was always traveling around the world, which left my mom to raise us. And essentially, she wanted to kind of come back to the States, which worked out great because my dad got an offer to work in Miami. So the whole family picked up, moved down to sunny Florida, Miami Beach, which is where I lived most of my life, and that is where the United States saga begins. Saga? What the fuck is this, Lord of the Rings? So one of the perks of having a dad that was a fashion photographer was the summer trips, all right? So my dad was gone most of the year. He'd come back during the summer and he would take us all to wherever he was working. I remember one summer we went to Jamaica. There was a pool of topless supermodels and, I was 8 years old and, I hooked up with like 9 of them, but, no big deal. You just had, supermodel girlfriends when you're 8 years old. That's just how life works, Some people get it, some people don't. I wasn't the best student. I was always hovering around a C+, B- grade, and I wasn't really the life of the party either. I had a couple close friends, but I wasn't like the most popular kid in school, if that makes sense. So one thing that I kind of really did enjoy was sports. My brother and I played everything. We played soccer, we played ice hockey, believe it or not, in Florida. We played football and a few other sports. Believe it or not, I even played a little bit of baseball, even though that looks like a dick and possibly one testicle. So when I was 16 years old, my parents got a divorce, as you do here in the States. No, I'm just kidding. That sounds really horrible. But they got a divorce, and honestly, it wasn't like a sad thing for me because it actually, there was arguing. It never got physical, but they were just two different people, and they ended up becoming much better people for it. But regardless, when you're 16 years old and your parents split up, it is a major life event, and it changes the way you think about stuff. I'd grown up playing video games like we all do. Every kid plays video games. We all have our first console. Mine was the regular Nintendo. Played Mario on that. Got Nintendo 64, GoldenEye multiplayer, just absolute madness. Mario 64 just blowing everyone's minds with the first 3D renders. And got myself a PC a few years later. I think it was a compact Presario. Played Delta Force. I was playing Counter-Strike, Day of Defeat. I was playing Counter-Strike when it was in beta. Age of Empires, strategy games, Command and Conquer. I loved everything. I just loved gaming. And my parents having split up, and, me not being the most social kid in high school, I grew up in sort of like an internet age. I had friends on Skype. Even though I had really good friends in real life, I had some online friends that I was really close with. And I sort of took to gaming. That was like my escape. Gaming was my escape. So whereas I excelled in gaming, right? No, I mean, look, I was really good at games. I love first-person shooters. Counter-Strike back in the day was just so peng. It's fucking amazing. I wasn't the greatest at school. I loved history because it was essentially stories that were true. All the stories, it was the craziest stories you've ever heard, but they were all true. I sucked at math. I didn't really enjoy the sciences because there was too much technical stuff involved. And for one reason or the other, I just wasn't really great at school. When it came time to apply for colleges, I met with the guidance counselor for the University of Miami, which was my number one choice. A lot of people I knew wanted to go there, and I wanted to go there. And they looked at my SAT scores and my GPA, and she was basically like, you know what? You have a dream, but it's not going to happen here because your scores are too low. Work a little harder. Or maybe stop playing so much fucking Counter-Strike, idiot. So I didn't get into UM, but I did get into NU, which is a school in Boston, an amazing school. Even though I didn't graduate from Northeastern, I still consider myself more of a Husky than I do a Hurricane. And I was so fortunate to get in there, met some lifelong friends, and it was such a great experience. I got to Northeastern, and I was there for 2 years, and I started noticing a pattern in my sophomore year. Everyone else was sort of figuring out what they wanted to do with their lives, and I was sitting there like, I have no idea what I want to do with my life. Like I said, I wasn't the best at school, but when I got to Northeastern, something changed. I don't know what it was. I just got a lot more diligent. SAT word right there. That's like an elementary school word. But I got a lot more arduous in my studies. Fucking hell yeah. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to transfer to UM, and I'm going to go study film at the School of Communications program. One of the best communications programs in the country. Let's freaking do this. And guess what? I freaking did it. So just to recap, I studied really hard, I looked into my books, and I read the words that were inside the books, and then, essentially achieved Illuminati status by transferring. That's just how I work, bro. I also had a girlfriend at the time that I was dating, and, she was less of a girlfriend and more like a dragon, hell lady. No, I'm kidding. She was okay. She taught me a lot. I'll put it that way. That's the nice way to say it. She was a dragon. I got down to UM, I started taking my film studies courses, and I loved it. One particular class was called Screenwriting 101. And essentially what we did was we wrote just made up stories, and then people would act out your script in class. And everyone, not every time, but people would laugh at some of the things I wrote. And I think like that is when I caught the bug. Like that's when I knew that one of the things, if I could do it in life, if I could make people laugh and bring joy, that's what I want to be doing. So I graduated film school, and I still didn't know 100% what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to do something with entertaining. And there was a position for an assistant job, went up to Connecticut. They were like, yo, let's go to Los Angeles. You want to come to Los Angeles and be our assistant? We'll try and make some movies. It could be a lot of fun. I did not know what being a Hollywood assistant entailed, but I found out really, really quickly. Basically, being a Hollywood assistant means you do everything that no one wants to do. Starbucks runs. If you get the Starbucks run, like if you ask for light milk instead of regular milk, you're gonna get yelled at. It's just crazy. Freaking meeting, dinner, make sure everyone's there, like photocopies, just crazy. It was really, really intense, and it was maybe too much at times, but I learned experiences there that I wouldn't have learned anywhere else. It was sort of like my boot camp for life. A few years later, and no Academy Award, shocking, I decided to go back to Miami because it just wasn't working out. It was fun, but the company folded, and I came back to Miami, and the film thing was sort of on hold, and I was sort of trying to just figure out what I wanted to do next in life. When I got back, I had a temporary job that was financial services, and I can't tell you how much I hated it. And that's why I am so fortunate to be here right now, because it was just a job that was so shit. It wasn't, okay, I take that back. It wasn't shit. It paid like okay, and it wasn't the worst job in the world, but it is not what I wanted to be doing. I'm not a numbers guy. I'm like a creative guy. And then I found this little website that I had known for years called YouTube, but I had never thought to upload on my own. And that's when I sort of had this impulse to go on a journey that I had no idea where it was gonna go. I started uploading whatever. I uploaded Age of Empires, PlanetSide 2, and you know what? I didn't give a damn about subscribers. At first it was like, I didn't even really know what subscribers were. I just uploaded. I don't think I knew you could get paid. Now, I don't know if this is 100% true, but I didn't know that you could make money off YouTube when I first started out, I think. But anyway, those were the early days. Early on, things were slow. And like I said, I didn't even know about the money thing, so I wasn't really too concerned about getting a whole lot of views. I was just uploading them and having like genuine interactions with people. And that interaction that I had with people in the comments, you know, like some people didn't like my videos, some people thumbed it down, but most people thumbed it up. And then the comments I would get, and then the positive feedback was that same feedback that I got in that writing class at UM. And that is like, I mean, I know it sounds weird, but that's life to me, man. Like, when I get that feedback from people and I can make someone's day maybe a little bit happier or just a little bit different in any way, like that is life to me. It's like, I don't know. It's the best job in the world. I literally can't stress it enough. And I know it sounds sort of like, I just keep saying that, but it is. And I guess the thing that I am trying, how am I gonna go and like do something so cheesy? Like, it's not where you finish. It's that you just start. And what are you saying? No, for real. I'm being serious. It's not how you finish. It's that you start something and you have to enjoy where you are in the particular moment. That relates to anything in life. That's something that I try. This isn't going to work for everyone. This is just general advice. And this is just sort of something I live my life by, is like, enjoy the moment. I don't think we do that enough. And I definitely don't do that enough. And YouTube has sort of helped me cultivate that way of thinking. And again, guys, it all comes back to you guys. It all comes back to just, there's no sincere emotion than me saying thank you to you guys, because you enabled me to have the best job in the world. And we were at 300K. I was supposed to get that out to you guys. No, we're at like 373,000. And I'm sort of rambling on because I don't know how to finish this video, because it is actually so that emotional for me. I just don't know what to say other than thank you so much. The thing says so much. But seriously, you guys are the absolute best. And I hope this journey, however long it continues, will be one that you guys enjoy. And it'll be one, as long as it lasts, that I will enjoy. And it's the best thing that's ever happened in my life. So from me to you guys, thank you so much. Tschüss, later, ade. I'm never gonna upload again. No, I'm kidding. I'll see you guys for an upload tomorrow.
911, what's your emergency?